far more valuable than growing vegetables is my sanity. I can be here and I have no awareness that I'm in the middle of an inner city, East Bristol. I'm on planet Zog here. And that's incredibly valuable. After that, there's a whole load of other uses. I used to work abroad quite a lot, so I was only in the country for about 4 months of the year, 3 to 4 months. So having things that were perennial and fruit was far more valuable because I could process that and it would then store for the rest of the year. So fruit, to me, overtakes vegetables by a long way, and it's far more expensive. I try and minimise the amount of work, so I don't do a lot of digging, which means I walk in between the paths. I don't stand on the beds. The beds all have that profile, which gives me a bigger surface area so I can grow more. By having that profile, it drains, and something at that angle to the winter south sun, it's the equivalent of being in the south of France in some parts here. For each 5 degrees of slope, you're the equivalent of 150 miles further south. So I've got an early crop, and then this side, where it's all in shade, is a later crop of something. So the plants that I allow to grow, or I try and allow to grow because I can't stop lots of plants growing, I've tried to move towards being either perennial, self-seeding and useful. So, anyone know what this plant here is? You can eat it. It's known as the poached eggplant, Limnanthus douglii. It self-seeds. It was recommended by Grow Organic or Garden Organic, the Henry Doubleday Research Association, as one of the earliest flowering plants that attracts the most beneficial insects. This plant here, what's this?
Evening Primrose.
Evening Primrose. I love it. It self-seeds all over the place. It's got a really deep rooting system, which means it's picking up nutrients that I've lost from my agricultural zone. And if I've got too much of it, I just slice it and cut it into the ground as a green manure. The root will die, leaving an airspace with compost up to 8 inches down. I mean, there's loads of plants that self-seed. You've got the spinaches here, that's the evening primrose, chards. You've got poppies, all self-seed. Spinach does. There's also a whole range of other plants which I use as green manures. One you see here, hazel finches eat the seed throughout the winter. In summer, from the leaf bract, it holds water, and that is a really crucial source of water for wildlife, for bees and things. It's accessible to them, and it's got a root that's probably this deep down. So it's cycling nutrients. It's a recycling machine. And instead of me having to dig and get my nutrients up and turn the soil and all that sort of stuff, no, the plant's doing it for me, and all I need to do is slice the top off, and I've got my fertility being maintained without having to bring in imports of resources, all of which have ecological consequences. Anyone know what this one is? Love in the mist. Anyone know of uses for love in the mist? Throughout the Middle East, they use the seed you can buy it in places like Sweetmart. It's called kalonji, and it's a sesame seed alternative substitute. But you can extract an oil from it, and they call that in Middle East mercy oil, and it's like tea tree and lavender oil, except even better, and as a healing herb. Basically, this has been my salad production area over the winter, getting as much salad as I can possibly eat. For those of you who've got a bit of excitement about heat, that's the one to go for.
Oh, I love that.
What is it, Mike?
It's a broad-leafed red mustard.
Wow.
Where'd you find? Where'd you get?
Not right now, thanks.
Seed from?
Once I get it, I tend to save my own seed, and that's why I leave quite a lot of things to go to seed. This is a perennial rocket, whereas these are annual rockets. And they've got very different flavours. You're welcome to browse your taste through.
Wow.
That's lovely.
Is that a bronze arrow oak leaf there?
These are bronze oak leaf lettuce, yeah, they're really nice. They're the pick and pluck sort. I mean, if you're trying to produce the maximum amount, growing something like a purple sprouting broccoli, it's going to take you about a year to get anything.
Yeah.
With these salad crops, you're probably harvesting within 6 to 8 weeks. You're starting to harvest. And on the pick and pluck sort, you can just keep harvesting, and the more you harvest, the more you get.
And when did you sow these, Mike?
Those ones probably in November. It's my kiwi fruit. I've got my figs, and there's a grape growing along the top there. I've got more grape and more various thornless blackberry things going on there. Yeah, each year I choose my worst bed, and basically I'm a great fan of cardboard. Rather than me digging and weeding, whack a sheet of cardboard on the ground. You can see it here with me garlic and, well, mainly garlic on this bed. So cardboard goes down on the ground, holes in cardboard, plant your garlic through that, up it comes through it, and you've got a relatively weed-free, no work system of gardening. And at the end the cardboard will have rotted down. I'm a real fan of cardboard because it's got so many wonderful characteristics. I mean, it stops weeds growing up, but because of those the fluting in it, it has air pockets in it, so it's really good adding it to compost as a kind of carbon source and an air source. By putting it on the ground, it actually insulates the ground and keeps it warmer so that things grow better. Each year what I do is I choose my worst beds, and they're the kind of least fertile and whatever, and they then become my compost heap in a line, and I grow potatoes in there. Now, as I weed, all my weeds go on these beds, so I end up at the end of the season with a bed of potatoes that's relatively weed free, that's been well manured, and I can just stick my hand under the soil, fiddle around and find the big spuds, pull them out, and it means I can harvest my potatoes successfully without pulling the whole spud up. Blue-green algae that fixes nitrogen, but I also fling all my, if I get bindweed root and things like that, which are a right pain, I fling them into there, it will rot in there, the algae will take up the nutrient, and then I just skim it off and use it as a mulch around things, but it also looks funky. Yoster berries, which are crosses between gooseberries and currants. These are Worcester berries, and the end one's a buffalo currant. Here is a North American edible hawthorn. It's called a Arnold Berry. Produces fruit about 3 times bigger than a hawthorn and 10 times nicer. The English hawthorn you can certainly use. This one, like the English hawthorn, it's one of the early tree salad crops going. There's loads of tree salads, my favourite one being lime leaf, Tilia cordata, as opposed to citrus lime. There's 4 different kinds of American red gooseberries here. There's another kind of thornless blackberry. This is a white mulberry, that's a cornelian cherry. Behind that, that's an Eleagnus, which is going to be, the fruit's going to be ready in about 2 weeks' time. One of the earliest fruit. I mean, rhubarb is probably the earliest. Then comes the Eleagnus. And then there's an Arbutus unida, or strawberry tree, behind that. So, you know, the range of stuff we've got to play with is just phenomenal. It's great fun playing with it and having different varieties so that you meet your needs throughout the year.